God.
Your Honor, please, may we request for permission for Attorney Seroy to conduct the direct examination of the witness. Your Honor.
Granted. Proceed.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. May it please the Court. Madam Witness, would you be so kind as to state for the record your name, your employment, and other personal circumstances?
Good afternoon, Your Honors. I am Miriam Mosuela. I am 57 years old, married, and a resident of Baguio City, Your Honor. And I work with John Hay Management Corporation.
Mr. President, Your Honors, the testimony of the witness is offered for the purpose of establishing the salaries, allowances, and benefits received by Mrs. Corona during the years 2007 to 2010 with the John Hay Management Corporation.
Your Honor, please. Your Honor,
Yes.
please. May we interpose?
Prosecution.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we interpose an objection on the purpose? The reason being that if the only purpose, Your Honor, is to establish how much Mrs. Corona earned from John Hay, we submit that it's totally immaterial, irrelevant, and impertinent. And very briefly, Your Honor, we laid out a charge against Chief Justice Corona for omitting assets in his SAL-N. And we do not see how much Mrs. Corona earned could shed light on that. In other words, Your Honor, there is disconnect, and we believe that this is material and irrelevant.
Your Honor, if counsel is willing to allow us, we would like to present the compensation received by Mrs. Corona because they are required to disclose this in the SAL-N, which is filed jointly by the spouses.
All right. Objections overruled. Proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Mosuela, what exactly is your function with the John Hay Management Corporation?
Your Honor, I am the current finance manager of John Hay Management Corporation.
Your Honor? Your Honor, please.
Yes.
To abbreviate the proceedings, Your Honor, there was marked yesterday morning one piece of evidence as exhibit for the defense. To abbreviate the proceedings, Your Honor, we won't mind going to admissions of fact if the defense is minded to do so, Your Honor, to abbreviate the proceedings.
What's the pleasure of the defense? Are you willing to stipulate?
Your Honor, if they're withdrawing their objection to the testimony and they are admitting the figures on the table, it will be faster.
All right, Your Honor.
Are you willing to accept?
We're willing, Your Honor.
Then we take it, Your Honor, that these figures are admitted and that the certification of Ms. Mosuela attests to the truth of these facts as appearing on the summary prepared by Camp John Hay.
You examine the document, and if
They have a copy, Your Honor.
Yes.
You're referring to Exhibit 219.
That is right, Your Honor.
Exhibit 219, yes. Yeah. Yes, Your Honor. We accept, we admit the, first we admit the authenticity of Exhibit 219. Of course, the contents therein, Your Honor, is subject to the best evidence rule.
Do you also, Your Honor, may I clarify? Do you also accept that Ms. Mosuela, the finance officer, is authorized to attest to the authenticity of these numbers as appearing in the records of the corporation?
Yeah? Yes, we admit that, Your Honor.
Well, if they admit, Your Honor, then I suppose there is no need.
you accept
The correctness of the figure, Your Honor.
just a minute. Prosecution, do you accept the authenticity of that document,
We do, Your Honor.
that exhibit?
We do, Your Honor.
You accept the contents,
Subject to the best evidence rule, yes, Your Honor.
subject to?
The best evidence rule, Your Honor, because the subject of inquiry is the content of this writing. Yes, Your Honor, we accept it.
Your Honor, this is an entry in the course of business.
The witness was under oath, and I don't think she will perjure herself.
Your Honor, but the best evidence amounts to an objection, Your Honor, to
All
the
right, so-
content.
All right. To meet the objection of the
Either you agree or not agree.
We agree, Your Honor. We agree.
Oh,
We accept it.
so, all right.
We agree, Your Honor, that the figures are
Then
correct.
make the proper manifestations for the record.
Your Honor, insofar as the figures appearing on Exhibit 219 is concerned, the prosecution accepts them. We admit them. Insofar as the authority of Miriam Mosuela, the witness, to authenticate Exhibit 219 is concerned, we also admit them, Your Honor.
Very well, Your Honor. Then we would like to read into the record that on the year 2007, the total salary allowance and benefits
Then,
received...
Your Honor, that would not be necessary because we already admitted the evidence. The best evidence would be these figures appearing on the document, Your Honor.
Exactly, Your Honor. We would like to put it on record.
The danger, Your Honor.
Gentlemen, you're too technical. It's true. We will, to us, that's the best evidence that we will appreciate. We just want it to be established in the record. That document is not recorded. The exhibit number is recorded. So read it into the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. We wish to manifest that the document, as appeared and can be confirmed by the prosecution, will show that in the year 2007, the total salaries, allowances, and benefits received by Maria Cristina Corona amounted to 1,315,746.30 centavos. In the year 2008, the total salaries, allowances, and benefits received by Maria Cristina C. Corona amounted to 1,959,178.15 centavos. In the year 2009, the total salaries, allowances, and benefits received by Maria Cristina C. Corona amounted to 1,915,002 pesos and 79 centavos. And in the year 2010, the total salaries, allowances, and benefits received by Maria Cristina C. Corona amounted to 972,148 pesos and 30 centavos, showing a total for the period of 2007 to 2010 amounting to 6,162,075 pesos and 54 centavos. This is what is contained, Your Honors, in Exhibit 219, which the defense adopts.
All right. Are you through with the no cross? Are you through with the witness, counsel for the defense? Are you through with the witness? Defense, are you through with the witness?
Your Honor, just to establish that this was actually received by Mrs. Corona, that is all.
Precisely, are you through?
I would just propound one question.
Huh?
I just would propound the questions for one point, Your Honor.
All right.
All right. Madam Witness, your certification on this document, can you explain to us what this document represents? Whose compensation is reflected here?
It is a summary, Your Honor, of all the salaries, allowances, and benefits received by Maria Cristina C. Corona for the period 2007 to 2010, Your Honor.
Can you please tell us what is the connection of Maria Cristina Corona with the John Hay Management Corporation during this period?
During this period, Your Honor, she was the president, the corporate operating officer, chief operating officer. She was the chief executive officer and also the acting chairman of the board.
How long were you employed with the corporation?
I have been with John Hay Management Corporation since December of 2008, Your Honor.
Do you have personal knowledge of the connection of Mrs. Corona, of the employment of Mrs. Corona with the corporation?
Yes, Your Honor. She was all the above, Your Honor.
So, did you serve under her?
Yes, Your Honor. I was, when I first came in 2008, I was the budget officer, Your Honor.
Can you attest to this court that you are aware that she personally received this compensation reflected in the exhibit?
Yes, Your Honor.
No further questions, Your
All
Honor.
right, close.
Very briefly, Your Honor. Very briefly.
Proceed.
Madam Witness, do you have a copy of Exhibit 219 with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
May I ask you to please take a look at this item, salaries and allowances? And I ask you to take a look at tab D for the year 2007. Now, there is indicated in Exhibit 219 salaries and allowances of 556,605.83. Do you have it with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
My question is, how much of this amount constitutes salaries and how much of this amount constitute allowances, if you know?
It's actually all salaries, Your Honor.
These are all salaries.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so therefore, this is the entire amount that were subject to withholding taxes.
Right, Your
correct?
Honor.
Right.
That's Your Honor.
And that would be true also for the years 2008, 2009, and 2010.
That's correct, Your Honor.
You mentioned that Mrs. Corona was what? The president of John Hay in 2007, and she was also the chief executive officer, the CEO.
That's
in
correct, Your
2007.
Honor.
And she was also the chief operating officer, the COO.
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you be able to know when Mrs. Corona joined John Hay?
Since I was employed only in 2008, Your Honor, I'm not very familiar, but I have seen records that she was a board of director in 2001.
2001.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you would not know, for example, that in 2007 she was first elected as president of John Hay. You would not know that, would you?
She was, Your Honor.
She was.
Yes.
So in 2007, she was elected as president of John Hay.
Yes, Your Honor.
And would you know when she stepped down as an employee or as an officer of John Hay?
It was on June 2010, Your Honor.
Now, the total, as appearing here in Exhibit 219, the total of all allowances, of all salaries, allowances such as rata, rice subsidy, uniform, etc., amounted to 6,162,075.54. Do you confirm that this is exactly the same amount that she received over the years covered in Exhibit 219?
For the given period, Your Honor, yes.
Yes.
Your Honor, I was under the impression that this had been admitted.
One final question, Your Honor. I asked earlier that the salaries and allowances were made subject to withholding tax. What about the allowances here stated as rata? Were they subject to withholding tax?
No, Your Honor. May I check myself, Your Honor?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
These are the amounts she was entitled to, Your Honor, but the salaries will have to be subject to the withholding tax.
But the allowances, would they be subject to withholding taxes?
As provided, Your Honor, some are subject and some are not. Just like the fringe benefit, which is subject to 32% final tax, Your Honor.
I see. But with respect to rice subsidy, with respect to uniform, with respect to medical benefits, with respect to cash gifts, these were not subject to withholding taxes, right?
It will be subject to, some will be subject, Your Honor, and some will not be.
Last two questions, Your Honor. Included in Exhibit 219 is Exhibit 219, yes, are the amounts received by Mrs. Corona as per dime being member of the Board of Directors. In fact, the entire amount received over the period of 4 years is 1,120,839.00. Were this subject to withholding tax?
Yes, Your Honor, 10%.
10%.
Yes.
Would you be aware if Mrs. Corona filed a separate income tax return to cover this?
I won't be privy to that information, Your Honor.
I guess that would...
Are there more last questions, Your Honor?
Are
Your
you
Honor,
through? Are you through with your cross?
One final last question, Your Honor.
Thank you, Counsel.
I made reference to the amount of 6,162,75.54 representing the totals. This is the gross amount, correct?
You're correct, Your Honor.
So you did not consider here the deductions such as withholding taxes or any other deductions for that matter?
It is not yet considered here, Your Honor.
All right, okay. So that this is the net, no. So
It's
this
the
is not
gross.
the net amount that Mrs. Corona received. Huh?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Honor. No further cross, Your Honor.
All right.
No redirect, Your Honor.
Redirect.
No redirect, Your Honor. May we?
Witnesses discharged.
Thank you very much.
Next witness, but 1 minute suspension.